Hi guys, this is Jubin Grubel here from Tekken5.com, and today we're going to be doing a comparison between the HTC Titan 4G and the Nokia Lumia 900. Now both of these are the latest Windows phones to have arrived in Australia, and obviously there'll be big competition and people wondering which phone is better between the two of them. So what we're going to do is just do a couple of comparisons, which you'll see now, and we'll give you our opinion towards the end where you can make a decision. So let's get to it. Right, so let's take a closer look at both these phones. Now, the Nokia Lumia 900 has a 4.3-inch Super AMOLED display, which is a Super AMOLED clearback display, which is Nokia's take on the AMOLED technology from Samsung. And on this side here we have a Super LCD display. Now this is Super LCD 1 and not Super LCD 2 like on the HTC One X, so it's definitely not as good. Now let's zoom in a bit here and see if we can see the difference in the color. I'm not sure how it's coming onto the screen, but basically from over here you can tell that the Nokia Lumia clearback display, the screen has a much better color definitions and tones here, as well as the vibrancy of the color is it's just much better on the Nokia Lumia. Whereas the Super LCD on the HTC Titan, while it's nice, it just looks a little faded, especially with the 800 by 480 resolution and such a big screen. It does look a little faded and just overall not as nice. Alright, so I've changed it to red just to make it a lot better to have a look at the two of them. So as you can see, a lot closer on the red, but more vibrant on this side over here. Still a little bit faded and a little dull compared to the other one. Now, in terms of hardware design, obviously the Nokia Lumia 800 is much better with its polycarbonate display here. It's just one single piece, and it's a lot nicer, and we'll get more into that in the hardware review. But basically, design-wise, Nokia Lumia 800 has a better design than the metal and plastic casing of the HTC Titan 4G. Now, keep in mind this is a 4G phone, so it's also a lot heavier than the Nokia Lumia 800, plus a bigger screen equals more weight. So let's do a speed test as well. Now, obviously we have a 4G phone with HSDPA Plus, and a HSDPA Plus phone for the Lumia 900 only. No 4G, unlike our US friends who do get 4G over there. We are not in a 4G area right now. The most you should be getting on HSDPA around here on Telstra's network would be around 11 megabytes per second. So once we start up the bandwidth test and see how they go. Now bandwidth actually runs a lot like speedtest.net. It's actually mimicking the server over there, but obviously as it's not a original app from speedtest.net, guys, it isn't going to be as accurate. So let me zoom out a bit just so you can get that, and I'm trying to start the test at the same time. Both of them are on Telstra. Let's check if both are on. Yep, so both of them are on 3G right now, and once we have a test, and we'll start at the same time and go. So much better latency on the Titan. However, speeds wise they're quite similar. Nokia Lumia or exactly the same basically. So Nokia Lumia 900 got a 4.85 megabytes per second, whereas the Titan 4G got a 4.84 megabytes per second. If you can't see that, let me just zoom in a bit. There you go. So there you go. And upload speeds on the HTC Titan 4G much better in this case, where it's 1.4 megabytes upload versus the 0.9 megabytes a second. Doesn't really matter so much on the upload speeds for us. It's just in case you want to have it, but just to give a second comparison, we're going to have another test. And go. I just got it a bit off on the Nokia just before. So about a bit faster on the Lumia this time. 5.34 versus 4.91. Now obviously being a 4G phone, when you get to the 4G areas, you are going to get speeds of up to 23 megabytes per second, as fast as I've seen in the city. Whereas the Nokia Lumia 900 will probably max out at about 11 megabytes in this area, possibly getting up to 15 if you can get it off peak time, which is right next to a cell tower. The fastest speeds we've seen in this area would probably be around 10 megabytes per second on the Lumia 900, being slightly faster than the HTC 4G. Alright, so what we've also decided to do is put up the similar picture on both phones just to give you a comparison of how the screens are. Now let us zoom out just a bit to get rid of the lines. Just there, perfect. So as you can see, from a distance you can't really tell so much, but as you get closer from the camera, so as you can come in, you can clearly see the yellows here are much better defined than on the HTC Titan. On top of that, the blacks over here as well, which aren't coming onto the camera, you can tell are quite black and deep here, whereas the LCD is coming off a bit, as a bit of bleeding over here. It sort of seems like it, but it's not. Greens are more vibrant as well. Colors are generally just more vibrant as the blue. Some might say it's a little oversaturated on Nokia. I don't see that quite on this one. And why don't we head over to a Penguin one. So as you can see, quite similar on this one, but the backgrounds tell all the difference over here. So let's zoom out. So there you can see the backgrounds are definitely a bit more vibrant on the Nokia Lumia 900. Now, just to give you a comparison of the two, I'm going to put a Samsung Galaxy S3, which has a 720p screen, in the middle of the two, just to compare how the colors look. Alright, so we've put the Samsung Galaxy S3 in the middle, as you can see here, just to give you a comparison between the phones and the quality. Now, you won't be able to tell from within the camera from a distance, but obviously it surprisingly looks quite natural on the the HTC Titan 4G, but it still looks a little dull, the colors. The Samsung Galaxy S3 looks quite vibrant, a bit oversaturated because of the dynamic mode probably, while the Nokia Lumia 900 obviously looks quite good. Not quite as vibrant, I suppose, in certain colors, but when you look at the background over here, it looks much nicer. Also looks a lot, but that also looks a lot crisper, which is weird, I guess. But so let's zoom in and see how we go on the colors over here. And focusing a bit. Alright, so having a quick look, we can just go to the next picture. Back for that, forward for that. Now on this one, you can clearly tell on the camera that the Nokia Lumia 900 screen is a lot more vibrant on the yellows. The blues look a lot more natural on the Galaxy S3, whereas the greens look about the same on these two. Being the worst of the lot would be the HTC Titan 4G for obvious reasons. So there you have it. Here's another picture of it, and obviously a lot nicer on the two of these. Probably prefer this picture on the Galaxy S3 just because of the more natural colors, and it just looks a lot crisper though. The yellows just look a lot more saturated on the Lumia 900 here. So we wanted to just take a final look at the video quality difference between the Lumia 900 and the 4G HTC Titan 4G. Now what we're going to do is we have a stock Wildlife in HD, which is the video you get on all Windows 7 PCs, and we're just going to put it on and play it at the same time hopefully, and try and see what we get in the color difference. So let's try and get this lined up and go. So right away off the bat you can see that the colors are just much nicer on the Lumia 900 because of the AMOLED screen. It doesn't look too bad for a HD video on the Titan 4G, but from what I've noticed is other videos which you put on which don't have HD quality, something like older videos which you put on, they just look really bad on the HTC Titan 4G because of the large screen. Because of that, I can't recommend the Titan 4G for watching videos on it, unfortunately. It's got a nice screen, but until Windows Phone 8 comes out with its 720p resolutions, the 4.8-inch screen is a little too big for just a 480 by 800 resolution, unfortunately. So, overall and final thoughts on the comparison between the two phones. This isn't a full comparison review or anything. Specs-wise, This has a 1.5 GHz single core processor. This has a 1.4 GHz single core processor. The only difference apart from that being this has a 4G phone. This is a 4G phone, and this is actually a HSDPA Plus phone, or just HSPA Plus. This has a 16 megapixel camera versus this one which has a 8 megapixel camera. Now if you want to see camera shots, I don't have a single comparison between the two of them, but I've already said in my hardware review, camera shots on this are quite good, but overall they lack a bit of lighting. They look a little dull, but the detail is great. Similar on the Nokia Lumia 900, camera isn't too great. Obviously the best camera here between the two of them would be the Samsung Galaxy S3. But if you're not looking for an Android phone, then obviously that's not going to matter. It's going to be between these two. My final pick is going to go towards the Nokia Lumia 900 just because of the design. And it's got some great features. The screen is nice as well. It's got exclusive apps, whereas HTC's exclusive apps don't quite match up to the Lumia 900 here. So that's it from Tekken 5's HTC Titan 4G versus Lumia 900 video. If you like our video, don't forget to give us a thumbs up as well. Do be sure to check out Tekken5.com for more news and information, and subscribe if you enjoy our content. Thanks for watching.